Okay, so let's get started here. This is a little bit of a different angle, still sorting out how I want to record these videos and do my sound. So I've got kind of a weird dual mic thing happening right now, but if it sounds better than the last one, cool. If it doesn't, fuck it. For this video, let's talk about some earbuds. These are from NiceHCK, NiceHCK, whatever you want to call them. The EB2S Pros. These I purchased myself from Amazon. The blue color with a 4.4 millimeter termination was on sale for like $10 cheaper than the normal amount. So that's why we've got them here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, there we go. Currently, I don't have any foams on them. These are silicone MM500 style covers that I got on Amazon later, though I did try with foams. And the rubber or silicone donut rings that are also included in the package. So there's white foams, black foams, and these guys, which they'll focus. There we go. That will drastically change the sound. Now, for those unfamiliar with earbuds, because it's not 2006 anymore, since there's no seal in the ear canal, getting material around the actual earbud in terms of the foam and the fit in your ear, it's going to drastically affect how much bass extension you get. Most earbuds, I think, in the audiophile realm are going to be mid-centric. These are no exception to that, although I will say the bass extension on these with the foams is better than you might expect from something like this. But I'll get into the sound in a moment. Let's start off with the basics. Obviously, I've been holding the units here. They do not come with these silicone covers, but under that is just basic, metal grill, non-detachable cable with a clear plastic chin cinch. I think I purchased these for $26 or something. Call it $30. Between $30 and $40 retail price. This is, like I mentioned earlier, the 4.4 termination, not modular. You get what you get out of the box with these. Speaking of the box, you do get Anime Girl. We have NiceHCK EB2S Pro. We have Miss Bunny Girl here. She's wearing blue. I don't know if the packaging changes depending on the color. There is black available. I don't remember. Maybe a pink or something. I couldn't tell you, but I got what I got because it was on sale. Anyways, get a nice little love letter from NiceHCK, which is interesting. There's where the earbuds would be and the accessories. Some are still in there. Here we have white and black foams. I don't believe these came with donut foams, which would look something like this. This is from another set that I have. But they do sound pretty good with donut foams as well. However, I'll address sound in a second. You also get a really nice cable tie, Velcro, branded NiceHCK. And that's pretty much it. You get some, paperwork, but who gives a shit? Moving on. Set this back. We'll put this over here. Have it in the background there. Alright, so grab grab these. I'm just gonna wrap these up real quick so they're not dangling everywhere. I have a nice little, let's see, maybe that'll make a good thumbnail. Anyways, for the price that I paid for these, for the build quality, which feels fantastic. I mean, you have these all metal build, sort of bell shaped housings on these earbuds. Even though the cable is attached and not modular, does feel premium, even though the price isn't necessarily premium. The cable itself, it can be a little bit prone to knot up or tangle up, as it were, but most of the time it's pretty well behaved. And I actually really enjoy these, although given the two other earbuds I have in my collection at the moment, I don't know if I'll hold on to these. I might pass these on to someone else in my life. But what I will say is, if you are into headphones and IEMs and haven't tried out really nice sounding earbuds since you know, it's sort of not on people's minds as much, I think, at least, once you get into the audio hobby. These are a pretty good entryway into having a set of earbuds around that are actually worth it. A lot of them just sound terrible. What I was used to is the awful, like, Skull Candy and JVC earbuds I would get from the local pharmacy or whatever, just super cheap because I needed headphones as a 14-year-old and I didn't care what they were, what they sounded like. But now I care about sound, and you know, these actually sound pretty good. So given build quality and everything are excellent, and I discussed what comes in the box, so let's move on to sound. So I mean, if I had to characterize the sound you get from these, depending on the configuration, you know, they'll want you to use foam. I recommend using the foams that come in the box. I have these silicone covers on right now, and I enjoy the presentation with these, but it is much more light in the bass, and you know, a little bit airier even. I want to say they present leaner, but certainly are still engaging and not necessarily harsh. Still energetic, but not too fatiguing, in my opinion. I did wear these a lot earlier today. Walked around a grocery store with them on and enjoyed my music. So they are usable and serviceable in everyday life when you don't want full sound isolation. And again, the sound quality for what you pay for and the build quality and all that is, I think, very good. I'll switch over now to one more shot of the accessory bag here. Let's put these back in there, actually. I will switch over to a set of graphs available on Squiglink that are not mine, but I'm going to use as a visual aid to illustrate some of my experience here. So let's switch over to my other screen. Okay, so here we have the Earphones Archive B&K 5128 measurements of the NiceHCK EB2S Pro. The light blue line is going to be with the silicone donuts that I held up to the camera earlier. You know, I'll switch back over just to re-illustrate that. This is the rubber ring that the chart is referring to. with sponge is obviously with the foams, and the baseline measurements are in red. The foam's in green. You can see here it is significantly better bass extension, and even into the mids. The target I have on the chart here is JM1 with preference bounds instead of a line, so you can kind of see with foams on you're going to get, relatively bass light performance, but the mids and the mid bass rather into the lower treble is going to be on the lower end of the preference bounds for JM1, which is kind of a warmish neutral type of sound signature. And what I will say about how these sound in my head is, relatively neutral. Presentation is kind of flat. The separation of things is okay. It's not spectacular, but there is a good amount of vocal energy. Songs are enjoyable generally, even with my favorite configuration, the silicone rings, the donuts, are much lighter in the mids and the bass. I still find my music to be enjoyable. I did listen to a lot of K-pop, J-pop, and more guitar-driven, I guess you'd call it Midwest emo type music. American Football put out a live album recently that I've been enjoying, as well as the rest of their back catalog. There's a lot of test music in my use cases because it has a lot of character in its production, and especially the percussion and how the guitars ring out and interplay with each other can demonstrate how well or not well some of the audio equipment I have around can handle that sort of thing. So with this set in particular, I found all of that, pop music and sort of prettier alternative rock type music to be enjoyable. Female vocals did sort of border on a little bit too zingy, wispy, I would call it, at times. The ends of words with S's and the occasional ch sound were just a little bit too hot, but with the foams on, that is not really an issue. It's just happens to be with my preferred configuration that you get a lot more of the upper mids and low to mid treble energy, and considerably more in the upper treble. So airier, certainly, but I find it to be lively instead of painful, and I overall I found these to be pretty impressive, especially for the price. I mean, I would give these as a gift. I would keep them around if I didn't have any other earbuds that I enjoy more, although I do, and I will be making videos about them later on. But as a whole, these are good. I enjoy them. I think, especially if you're only into IEMs or just IEMs and headphones, and you haven't tried an earbud in a long time, I think this was a really refreshing experience for me. And I would recommend just picking up a pair. They're super cheap in relative to, $200 or $300 IEMs or $1,000 headphones. For under $30-$40, these are fantastic, especially if you want something quick and easy to throw on, say, walk around the block, walk the dog, or just any occasion where you don't want your ears to be occluded. You can hear yourself talk a little bit better, that kind of thing. Yeah, I would recommend them. I will say I do wish the black color was available for the price that I got the blue one, but you know, that's really a nitpick with Amazon and not NiceHCK. And maybe that's a nitpick with the current president and tariff situation, but that's beside the point. Either way, NiceHCK EB2S Pro, I recommend them. Value for money, I think they're excellent. The TLDR on the sound is relatively even presentation. I won't call it neutral, but it's certainly, you don't feel like you're missing much except for bass. And even then, the suggestion of the bass that you're missing is still there. So the overall picture, if you will, of your music will still come through and is presented in this way that is airy and lively. Separation is okay. The stereo image is everything's where it should be, but I guess if I had another nitpick on, say, soundstage, things aren't really, it's not a deep stage. It's closer to the three blob kind of thing, center, left, and right, but still, overall, it's an enjoyable purchase. I don't regret it, even though I will probably give my set away, but yeah, highly recommend, especially for the price. So thank you for watching. I do intend on making more videos, so if you are enjoying my entree into the audio review space, like, subscribe, feel free to leave comments about your opinions. Don't tell me to fuck myself, whatever. You know, you can be as angry as you want. Engagement is engagement. Anyways, you can find me on Instagram, things like this. I'll link it in the description probably, but till next time, peace.